I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get started. Thanks everyone for coming. Start by getting a motion to approve the July regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the July regular minutes.
I need executive session and work session.
Okay, I'll do the executive session and work session too. All three of those, how about that?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Old business. Additional appropriations for Chet's Park Fund for the building improvements.
Sorry about that.
And we did that previous, but we just have to redo it.
So ordinance number 2025-7 is for additional appropriations amount of $5,365.03 from Chet's Park Fund to go towards, was this that or the doors?
No, it was the doors.
For the doors over at the
And we
park.
did it last time, but it was short a day on notice, so we
For
have
the
to do it again.
pavilion doors. I just need a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-7 for the amount of $5,365.03. I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. New business, additional appropriations, motor vehicle fund, capital outlay.
That's the leaf back.
Okay, this is ordinance 2025-8, in the amount of $8,400. And this is to move, money from the motor vehicle fund for the leaf back, the additional funds for the motor leaf back. Or for the leaf back, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-8, the amount of $8,400.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving right along, that's what Brad likes.
I'm fine. I'm here for the long haul. I don't like all the chitter chatter, you know, I'm not in with all that. I like efficiency.
Reports and updates from employees. Lucian. Dale. Aaron.
Yeah, I guess. Just let you know about the building out here at FBI. Everything was done, they put the pass door in, it was the wrong pass door. It was supposed to be an out swing, and they had an in swing, so they've got to replace that. And Hopper Construction, he said, I talked to him, he's gonna be able to install them doors probably next week, he's probably gonna start, so it'll be this month. Jack Timmons, starting in on Park Column, is next Monday. And Eva Carr, we had them come in and kind of look at that generator over there. He's gonna give me a parts quote for what we need on that. The bank, the fire hydrant up here at the bank, it's fixed now. We've got it fixed and back up and going. Park playground equipment, we fixed it. There's some broken equipment in there, and we got that all fixed. And the east well, we had a problem with it. It wasn't working. And we had Mel McIntyre, he came out for us and kind of diagnosed the problem. We had Duke over there too. The electrical starter, 180 volts in there. And Lucian and I replaced that. Probably shouldn't have, but we went ahead and did it. It's fixed also and back online. That's all I got.
Mr. Sugar?
Nothing.
Just a couple of minor things, property cleanup's kind of the thing right now. I think Dale and I are working on the Chicago Street property down here, which is just kind of a revolving, process with this guy, I forget his name, but, we're working on that. And then I think I noticed your neighbor again, because I went over there a couple, 3-4 weeks ago. It's just back, in my opinion, this is back to where it was. I'm not just looking at you for an explanation, I'm just saying you happen to live across the street. I just kind of knew what I was gonna get, and I drove by there, and I'm like, so you're gonna get a letter on that. And I'm just kind of at the point, I'm just gonna load up all that junk and throw it away.
Especially when we have the dumpster out there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not trying to, Dale's, kind of got his relationships around here, and I understand there's a lot more dynamics. I'm kind of the grim reaper when it comes to that stuff, but, if it's up to me, just drive up there and throw all the shit in the back of the truck, excuse my French, but that's an accurate description. And then you drive away with it, and we would deal with the ramifications later.
That's right.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it, because it's just been ongoing. We could really try to treat a couple of these properties like we did that building over there, but it costs money to do that. It costs money for me to go into an open courtroom and start getting court orders. But I drive around in some of these alleyways, and I mean, by and large, 80% of the properties in this town are pretty darn nice. And then you've just got these big warts, and the Chicago Street's one of them, the Trivet property's another. And I saw where and then we got this school bus over here that we really need to deal with, which is probably gonna require some kind of modification of an ordinance to get rid of that. But I mean, I'm kind of at the mercy of, how aggressive you folks wanna be, but I mean, I'm kind of getting exhausted by the Chicago Street property and this other one. The gentleman down here, I don't know him, and he might be a really nice guy or whatever, but he's just got an piece of aluminum up in front of his junkyard. And to me, that's not really in compliance. That stuff is in open air, it's not in a garage, and as far as I'm concerned, it might be a disguise, but it's not compliance, and I'm perfectly fine if you guys, I will support you, the three of you, or whoever does it. It's probably the two of you, right? You and Aaron and Lucian, and I understand, you have relationships with these people, but, I'm supportive of you driving up there and loading the truck up, and if you gotta have a sheriff sit there while you're doing it. I mean, don't spare a lawnmower. Some of this stuff is it's been repetitive on a couple of properties. We've worked with some people in town that have cleaned their stuff up, and we haven't really had to deal with them again, you know what I mean? But that's not the case with these two. And it just seems like it's a waste of our time to talk about it anymore. But I sent him another letter, and if you want me to drive up here when when you pull up with the dump truck, I will be here. I did this with the county when I was younger, when we were cleaning up these county properties that were just 50 times worse than these. We had bulldozers coming in and front loaders, and I don't mind sitting there and taking the heat and letting people blame me for it, because I don't have relationships with these people. But those two properties are they haven't been really in compliance ever. They've been maybe borderline a few times.
All I need is to go ahead. If I get the absolute word, we'll take care of it.
I mean, look, I'm willing to drive up there and just say, load it up if that's what it takes. I mean, I'd like to have a sheriff deputy or somebody with a firearm next, on their side, because I'm not stupid. I can take care of myself, but in this world, we're not living in, this is a shaky ground to be on for lawyers and frankly civilians to be playing in this stuff, because we've got some crazy people around, But I guess my point is just simply that I think these two people have kind of run out their goodwill with us. And, I'm fine if we want to take a little bit more aggressive approach to loading up trucks. I don't know how you do that, if you gotta get a Bobcat over there or whatever, but if you gotta haul a boat away because it's been sitting in the same spot collecting shit, we'll haul it away. And, that's just kind of where I am with it. So that's that. Otherwise, Carrie had emailed me about, I forget the gentleman's name, the guy who died kind of unexpectedly about a year ago.
Sarayo.
Yeah, and maybe getting a lien on that property, and we've got about a $400 judgment. I'm kind of talking in code here, but basically this gentleman died. He had a home, but it's mortgaged to the hill. The bank owns it pretty much, and they're trying to auction it, but it's not a traditional auction. It's like an online auction. And they just throw it on a website and hope that somebody puts a bid on it. If they don't bid on it after a week, then they pull it off, and then they put it back up after that, and they try it again. So I'm talking with the guy that's doing that, and I may see if I can secure a lien, but I'm not sure. I don't even think that property's gonna get purchased on this auction site. We didn't get purchased the first round.
Okay.
It's probably gonna end up in a sheriff's sale. That's probably what's gonna happen. So we're not like, I don't think time is entirely of the essence, but I am looking into that. I talked to that guy last week, so.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So on this deal, we would just call up Apex, get a dumpster, I'm assuming?
Yeah, you mean on like Tribbett's place or
Yeah.
Chicago Street?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't noticed Tribbett up yet, technically. You know, we gotta go through the motions, and we should have a chance to remediate. But if it gets to the point where it's time to go in and do some self-help remedies, which is permitted by the ordinance, you either get a dump truck and do it, or bring a dumpster over, whatever you wanna do, but you're gonna need a deputy there. I mean, I know Dale can do both. I'm just saying, you're gonna need somebody there. You can't send Lucia and Aaron over there.
Last time we did it, I think I just called a Grant and got a dumpster and we set out there, but this one we'd have to set it around back, but if you leave it there, you know they're gonna go back through it if they're around, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
We're gonna end up, we're gonna end up throwing him on the lien list, is what's gonna end up happening in October and November. But if we really get to the point where we're like, hey, we need to remove like a shed or something that's affixed to the property that's more of a fixture, I probably need to get a court order. Like, I'd prefer to get a court order to do something like that. Which I don't know if Tribbett kind of has a little bit of a structure over there, doesn't he?
Few, yeah.
Two,
Yeah, who's counting?
to be exact.
But seriously, I wouldn't want to look at that. I mean, I know there's other properties in town that probably warrant the attention. I understand that, but those are the two that I'm familiar with. I wouldn't want to stare at that all day. It's not quality of life.
So they're gonna get a dumpster doing on the 35 one out here? Is that what?
Well, he's gonna send out the,
Well, I already sent this guy a notice. He's probably at the end of his 30 days or close, isn't he? Pretty close.
Yeah, it's gotta be close.
They did some mowing, some weed eating, but
Yeah, that's it.
did they call you?
Nope.
So they didn't even ask to determine what was in compliance or what wasn't. I don't think that little aluminum siding out there is really, to me, that's not compliance. But again, he's your marshal. I'm not putting it off on him. I'm saying he can make those decisions. But if he calls me up there, I'm gonna say, take all that junk. Because I just don't think it is. I don't care if there's a lawnmower back there, if it's,
Me, so.
what's that?
So you'll be the one to defend me, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll be standing in front of you if it's a human shield or anything. They've run out of goodwill to a certain extent.
Ryan,
No.
There's other properties that you're like, hey, what about this guy or that guy? I mean, you gotta let me know. I don't, I'm not monitoring everybody. I do know that the school bus guy, we gotta figure that out. It's just hard for me to accept the fact that you've got a school bus in your, or a semi-trailer in your backyard. Like, that's just, but our ordinance does not cover that. It is definitely a loophole.
Can we fix it?
I think we can, yeah. We can definitely fix the ordinance, the retroactivity and all that, get a little kind of touchy when
Touch
it
it up.
comes to, I don't use the word grandfathering, but I think we definitely can.
His fence that looks like it's part of a grain bin.
The
There's
fence?
no problem with that, right?
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
Did you
And
see
look,
it?
I mean, again, the guy might be a really nice guy, but it's just certain standards.
The dogs. He's the one with the dogs.
Yes.
Well, what do you have to do to change that? I mean, to get it tightened up?
I need to modify the ordinance. And if you guys say, hey, beef up that ordinance and let's get focus on that, I'll do it. I mean, I'm fine with that. But that's something you guys have to decide, you know, we're definitely doing it for a selected purpose. Because it is a tiny little, I think that I'm not comfortable saying haul that thing away right now. You know, the trailer that is. The school bus is just part of our tag ordinance, right? Like it has to be plated or something?
Landed and operational.
Yeah.
Where did you do that?
I've seen it run,
Yeah, I mean, like,
and it's legally plated.
Where you guys get
That falls within our ordinance.
Does the semi-trailer have to be plated?
I don't, it's not a motor vehicle. So like, I don't think it even applies to that particular ordinance, but our junk ordinance does not cover that, it just doesn't. I looked at it and I'm not super comfortable that it's on.
Does the ordinance say motor vehicle or vehicle?
I thought it said motor vehicle, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I've looked at it, I'll go back through, but I definitely looked at it at one point, because first time I went over there, I was like, what in the world is going on here? I mean, you know, Jesus, it's right in the middle of town.
On 35.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were the neighbor, I don't know if the neighbor's here, I'm guessing not
No,
either.
that, he doesn't like it.
If I were the neighbor, I would have gone to a lawyer's office immediately and had my attorney, whoever the neighbor is, file a public nuisance action and have that damn thing removed.
I think he would.
I think there's a few ordinances we need to look at, just like fences. A lot of people have put up like privacy fences. Some of them are almost on the outsides of the stop signs. They're on the outsides of the light poles. I mean, we've got some places, you know, like privacy fences and things, and sheds that are clear out to the corner of properties. You know what I mean?
I checked one of those out last month too. I don't know that I found the one that I saw as much of a problem as what maybe other people might think. but
Right.
I kind of agree.
If it's on their property, it's on their property.
Yeah.
But some things are extending outside of the right of ways.
But, you know, this is just one of the things I was dealing with, so I'm done. I'm on my soapbox.
Well, the thing about the trailers too, we do have farmers, and they need to be able to maybe leave their trailer, you know what I'm saying, can that be fixed or whatever, so it's not, every trailer can't be, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if they're plated and they move once a year.
That's all it needs to have
Something,
happen, okay?
plated.
Because I don't want that to be
You mean
against
like
them.
a semi-tractor
Yeah,
trailer?
yeah, because I know at one time, remember, we had trouble with them leaving them running at night, and people were complaining about that. Remember, they had the refrigerator things on.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
right
that?
here, maybe.
I just don't want that to be a, you know.
No, I'm talking about somebody having a semi-trailer in their backyard,
Okay, well, I know, but,
not even functional, right? Like, I don't know that, I'm pretty sure you couldn't haul that thing away
Okay.
without doing some work on it. But it's not, I'm not saying he's in compliance. I'm just saying I've looked at the ordinance and I'm not super comfortable just hooking the thing up and towing
Yeah,
it.
because we've got the ordinance that covers, like you said, multiple axles sitting on the roadway, and the boys told, park in your yard.
Yeah.
You're safe.
Yeah,
So,
but that's more of a permanent structure.
down there it is, yes.
Yeah.
This is, the ones we're talking about, it's like temporarily, over the weekend type thing.
Well, you take a look at it and see what you think. We can
Yeah.
change the ordinance to. Tim?
Nothing other than emergency management advisory board meeting Wednesday at 6:30. And we'll have a guest. Levi Manning is interested in taking my position first of the year,
What date is that? 10?
this Wednesday. What is today? 5th, 6th. So,
You have no good news, do you? How's it going?
Good,
Good.
good, good.
Good to hear. Carrie?
I only had one question. Were we ever able to find out the Cass County Community Foundation balance
I have
for the
not.
grant that
I have
the
not.
park board has?
We're calling everyone right now for everything, so we'll give her a call.
So what is it?
Cass County Community Foundation grant that the park board got several years ago, Paige and Deidre. I
You
call
wanna know
it
what the
the balance.
amount of it is?
The balance that is remaining at the foundation.
Oh, they manage the account
Yeah,
in
they
perpetuity or whatever, but,
Right, they wouldn't tell me because I'm not part of the park board. I did try to
oh,
make
well,
that
I can just
effort,
text
but-
Deanna or email Deanna. How long ago was that, do you think you received that? Just some context here.
Year and a half ago.
Probably at least, because I've been, this is my second.
That's hilarious, they won't
It
tell
was
us down.
before me,
Yeah.
Is it Ray Park, right? R-E-Y?
R-E-A-Y. Sorry, R-E-A.
Okay. You just wanna know what the balance is?
Yes, please.
If they wouldn't tell me.
No.
The town clerk.
Imagine that.
They wouldn't, they really wouldn't.
I told them who I was, but they said, are you on the park board? And I
Yep.
said, I said no.
Yep, there you go.
I was honest, I said no. And they said, oh, we probably need to have somebody who's on the park board call. I said, okay, will do.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Anything else?
That was just it.
Gina?
Just the recycle day flyers that I put up there for you, and then I put the sign up sheet requesting some assistance from you guys.
Are you still in on this deal? That's what I talked to you about the other day. We'll have some help here.
The dumpster will be out there on Saturday, and then Apex will pick it up first thing Monday morning, but that's still gonna leave it about 48 hours for people to throw things in that are not necessarily supposed to be in it, but
Okay. Anything else? This is more towards Aaron and Lucian, at the park, around the baseball diamond and dugouts. Do we typically weed eat that and spray that, or what's the?
No, not up there. Every now and then we do weed out around the outside of the fence and stuff like that, but, or I mean, we spray around the outside of the fence, but I know they get irritated, you know, if we go up there and spray around the inside because of their grass. They don't like us messing with it, they keep it cut to a certain thing, and
So we don't, like, right now, when season's out, we don't weed eat along the fence.
I sprayed it Friday.
it's Friday, Friday.
Okay, I've been asked about that. So,
I'll pass it on.
okay. And then also, park board, we didn't have it on the agenda today, but Abby is here she will be the representative for the youth league on the park board. So we already voted that last month. And then, I don't know if we have to do it next month or what, but Teresa would like to be on the park board as well. So,
Do you just want me to add the park board to the agenda for next time?
Yeah.
To add her?
yeah.
Do we need to, I know last time you.
call against balance.
Also, yes. See, that's exactly right.
You approved Abby and Riley.
Yeah.
I can.
Were we supposed to officially
I
accept
just sent an
that as
email.
well?
I'm sure.
Or,
Oh,
like, do we need to add it and officially accept
Do
it?
we have to officially accept it? We approved it.
What do we, I'm sorry, I was.
Park board members. We did Abby and Riley last.
I mean, you might as well vote on the appointment, yeah. We're sitting here, at least by
So do we
majority
need to add
consent.
it to the agenda and
We'll do all three of them in September.
in September, okay.
Yeah, the reason why is because if they were gonna take some action at some point on behalf of the board that had something to do with finances or something, you know, whomever they're dealing with might say, well, is there a record of you being approved by the board or something like that, so that's kind of more like compliance kind of stuff.
Citizens? Nothing?
Not yet.
Not yet. Meeting's almost over.
I have a question for Penny, actually. Does our fire department have carbon monoxide detectors in them?
We do not.
we're meeting with Red Cross next week about smoke alarms, but they're just smoke alarms, they're not.
Well, mine went off when I went over and actually we like fast, and I think he had an oxygen thing. And they, I had two part of them outside the storage, but one of them didn't go off, but the other batteries did, it's still. And I want to call the fire department, and I want to call Nipsco, so,
And they have a flat batteries.
well. Plus I had those copies.
All right, we need a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, sorry.
Motion passes. Did you say aye?
Aye, sorry.
I wrote my-
Outside my name.
4-0, 5-0.
Yeah.
Teresa, you can refrain.
I make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Who did that?